Hello and welcome to the Got Confidence video series #1. This is going to be a very exciting video series because this whole number of series 1 through 4 is going to put a shift into your life that you never thought was possible before. Okay? And we are sticking to this theme of be bold, be blessed, and be a believer. Okay, I'm Virginia Manning, and once again, welcome to the video series. I want you to know that the idea behind this video series is to help you develop a new way of acting, a new way of thinking, so that you can get all of the things that you deserve, desire, and want out of your life. Whether it be a promotion, whether it be a bonus, whether it be a career change. It could be you want a healthy relationship. It could be that you just want to build more within yourself. Whatever it is, this Got Confidence series is for you. Okay, when I talk about got confidence, I don't mean that you don't think that you're beautiful or handsome, or you don't think that you are successful or have the things that you need. But when I talk about got confidence in this series, I'm talking about that when you want something more out of life, that you don't let the pressures keep you back. That's right. You can have all of the confidence in the world. You can think you're the most beautiful person in the world. You can have degrees. You can have successes already. But then you want to go to that next level. And then you let those pressures, there's 4 pressure points that I'll cover in this series. Today we're going to cover pressure point #1. But those pressures will keep you from being successful and gaining the things that you want. So today, our main objective is to focus on pressure point #1. So pressure point #1 is overthinking. Overthinking comes with the feeling that thinking actually that you're not doing the right things. You're overthinking, am I doing what's right? Am I enough? If I ask for the promotion or the bonus, will they give it to me? Sometimes you overthink and you put yourself in this zone of not going after what you want because your mind has told you certain things are not going to come to pass, or that you're not good enough, or that what you want is not able to be obtained, or because one person already has it, that there's not enough for you. That is overthinking, and you have to develop confidence to know that you are bold enough, excuse me, you're blessed enough, and you have to believe that you have the skills, the talents, and the purpose to go after what you want, regardless of what the pressures are. See, those anxiety pressure points that lead you to fear and worry and feel like you can't get what you want are going to be killed over these next 4 video series. So let's focus on #1, overthinking. So I have some tips about overthinking that I've used personally throughout my life. So research shows that, or says that, and there's been numerous studies about overthinking, but according to Psychology Today, overthinking can lead to emotional distress, aka anxiety. And that's what this series is about too. Those pressure points, those anxiety pressure points that keep you from getting more and getting what you want and deserve and should have out of your life. And so we're going to dive into those emotional distresses related to anxiety, and today, overthinking. So for me personally, the reason why I have become so skilled in overcoming these anxiety pressure points is because at one time in my life, I was an overthinker. So I could say about in 2000, I finished my degree in English. I got a bachelor's degree in English from Lamar University. Yeah, go Cardinals. And so I got the degree in English, and then I was on my way to pursue teaching. Well, guess what? I started overthinking. It was hard for me to get a job as a teacher because I was overthinking. Let me tell you what I was telling myself. First of all, I was telling myself because I was a first-generational college student in my family that I wasn't good enough. Second of all, because I didn't know anybody in the educational field, because people were always saying, oh, it's who you know. You have to know this person. You have to know a principal. You have to have family that's teachers. Because most of the people I knew that were teachers, they had an aunt that was a teacher, a grandmother, a neighbor, or somebody that could put in a good word for them to vouch for that they were a good person or a credible worker. So they were able to get the job more easily. And so here I started overthinking because I did not have any of those things. I didn't have a family member. I didn't know anybody in the educational system. So guess what? As I was going to job interviews for teaching, I was bombing them. I was flopping them. I went to so many different job interviews. It was so discouraging. Why? Because every time I went into one of those job interviews, I lacked confidence because I was overthinking. I was overthinking that I wasn't good enough. I was overthinking that I didn't have the talents that I was supposed to have because I didn't have any background and information. So interview after interview after interview, I was denied the job. I didn't get a call back. I would call, check on it. I didn't get a call back once I called and checked on it. And so it was very discouraging. And so my emotional distress was on an all-time high. But I had to sit back. I had to do some development. I had to start thinking more positive about the direction that I was going in, and I had to build confidence. So in this series, I'm going to give you some tips and tools of what I did to help build my confidence, because eventually, after so many interviews that were not successful, I finally stopped and thought about, you know what? I have to stop thinking that I'm not good enough. I have to stop thinking that I have to have that family history of educators in order to become a teacher. I had to stop overthinking, and I did it. And these are the tips that I use that I'm going to share with you today about how I conquered overthinking so that I developed the confidence that I need. And guess what? Once I put these tips into place and these strategies, and I lived by them, and I was bold enough, and I believed it, and I knew that I was blessed to have this career, then I started seeing changes in my interview status, and I finally got a job as a teacher. Woohoo! That was the most joyous time in my life. And you know what? You can do it too. Don't let your overthinking keep you from getting the career that you want, the bonuses that you want, the family lifestyle that you want, the healthy family. Don't let overthinking stop you from feeling good about yourself, because overthinking will do that. So here we go. Here's tip number one. Tip number one is that you have to be intentionally focused on your goals. It is so easy to say that I want to become a teacher. I want to be able to go on more vacations. I want to be able to have a happy family, a happy lifestyle. But you have to be intentionally focused on that, because sometimes when you overthink, those negative thinks, as they call it, that stinky thinking, will take over and make you feel like you're not worthy. It will kill your confidence. So one of the things I did was that, and if you've ever seen one of my vision board, if you saw my vision board YouTube video, you will see that, you know, I probably had this same vision board because I am so in love with this one vision board, even though it was the vision board that I did probably like 3 years ago. But I'm infamous with doing vision boards because I have to focus on what I want. Vision boards are a great way to intentionally focus on your goals so that overthinking will not kill your dreams. And so if you can kind of look at this vision board, I have some motivational quotes. I had my dream office, and it came to pass because I have an office that looks similar to this, and it's just awesome that I saw that vision all the time. Every time I looked at the vision board, and my vision came to pass. I've done a lot of traveling. If you looked at one of my other confidence videos, I did it via Jamaica. So, and these motivational quotes, even the dressing professional. So vision boards work. This vision board, I'm never getting rid of it, even though 95% of the things that I put on this vision board has already came to pass. And I'm in the process of making a new vision board because I'm in a new point of my life where I'm about to shift even more to get more of the things that I want. But I have to intentionally focus, because when you intentionally focus, you can see your goals, you can see your dreams, and the overthinking will not distract you from getting what you want, because you wake up every day, you look at that vision board, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm going to get. And the overthinking, thinking that I'm not good enough, that lack of confidence dies, and you get those things that you want. You get bold enough to go after them. So that's tip number one, is that you have to be intentionally focused on what you want out of life. And you can have several vision boards, but one vision board with a lot of multiple visions on it and goals is good enough, but you have to intentionally focus. Okay, so tip number 2 is that you have to plan things out. The reason why you overthink and you have that anxiety where you're feeling like you can't get anything done and you're just thinking too much, you got to get out of your head. You have to have some self-control. The whole thing about controlling your overthinking is that you have to be self-disciplined. You have to gain control over those thoughts. And tip number 2, planning it out is a perfect way to help you have your visions focused and to see and know that you are on the right track. Because if you don't plan it out, all of those things are going to stay inside of your mind and inside of your head, and you're going to feel like you're not getting anywhere. So when you plan it out, you can have a planner, a actual planner. I have one of those. Or you can, some people like, technology. They use their phones, the notes. There's other sources like Trello and Asana that helps you organize your thoughts and your projects. So you can use those things also to plan it out. Or you could just do a list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put you some dates so that you can have a focused goal, right? And plan it out. But if you don't plan it out, it's like you have nothing to do. You have nothing to look forward to. You have nothing to be bold about. You have no action steps to take or to be in place because you didn't plan for anything. And so you overthink that you're not getting anywhere. Pressure point, overthinking kills your confidence. You have to be confident. So plan it out, plan out your moves, and then execute them. But they have to be planned out. Okay? Tip number 3 is that you have to think positive. Okay? Let me let you think about that for a little while because a lot of people function in negativity. You have to think positive. And sometimes it's not an easy thing to do because if you are used to thinking negative and thinking that everything you do doesn't prosper, that you have no way out, then it's hard to start thinking positive. Therefore, you have to have tips in place to help you, strategies and tools, to help you with being more positive. Okay, especially if you be around negative people, because sometimes, people just try to kill your dreams and your aspirations, have you thinking, overthinking that this is not possible because they can't do it or that's not their purpose or they don't see it being part of your purpose and your talents and your skills. But you have to think positive. One way to think positive is, once again, you have to surround yourself with positive people. They say the people that you are around are most likely the people who you like to be like or who you end up being like. So you have to kind of like surround yourself intentionally around positive people. People who are going to support your dream. People who are going to support your purpose and what you are destined to do or what you want to do. And just because it's not their same dream or purpose or whatever, don't let them persuade you that what you're trying to do is not good enough. Okay? You have to let go of those pressures. Those anxiety pressure points of worry, distress, fear are going to be out the door. Okay? That's what we're doing in this series. And you have to think about what you want out of life. And you are worth it. That's how you build that confidence. You are worth it, and you have to put steps in place. So in order to be positive, when I was going through the things that I go through, and you know what, another thing about it is that even when you are successful and you try to get to that next point of success, you're still going to have those anxiety pressure points. You're still going to be overthinking. But when you have tips and tools in place, then you're less likely to let those things keep you from being successful because you have that foundation for confidence. And so one of the things that I did, so for 2 years, I wrote down positive affirmations because I knew that my overthinking, thinking I wasn't good enough, that's a biggie. Because I don't have that generational professional stance in my family or whatever. I'm like first generation in a lot of things. And I had to learn how to do a lot of things on my own and by myself and go out and get the resources that I need. But in the midst of that, for 2 years, I wrote down motivational quotes that helped me every day to become successful and to retrain my overthinking of thinking that I wasn't good enough or that I didn't have the skills, the talents, or the purpose that I needed to go after what I wanted. So for every day for 2 years, I wrote down motivational quotes. And so this is the product of that. I picked 365. I think it's like maybe 7 extra ones if it's the bonus edition. So 365, like 342 motivational quotes are in this book that helped me overcome my anxiety pressure point of overthinking. So for 2 years, I wrote down motivational quotes, and I wasn't even intending to put it in a book. But I'm like, why am I keeping all of these treasures to myself? Because of the things that helped me become successful and to continue being successful and grow surely can help someone else. So I'm not going to keep those treasures to myself. So I did compile it. 372 are in this book. Gave you a little push, some bonuses. And so this book helped me, these motivational quotes helped me to gain positive thoughts, to conquer overthinking, so that I can become successful and continue to become successful. So this book was great for me, and that's why I put it into a book so that I can share with the world, because I want to make sure you have the tools that you need to become successful also. Another thing, which is bonus tip number 4, So tip number 1 was that you have to intentionally focus. Tip number 2 is that you have to plan it out. Tip number 3 is that you need to think positively. And tip number 4, which is the bonus tip, is that you have to have motivation, inspiration, guidance, and support for whatever it is that you want to do. Why? Because you need a support team. You need a cheer team. You need resources. You can't do it on your own, because the world is continuously growing. And as the world grows, so should you. And as the world grows and you're growing right along with that the world and gaining the things that you need to be successful, that also lessens your anxiety, because you know that I have what it takes. I'm doing the same things that the world is doing to get successful. I don't see myself, even though you have your own talents and purpose, you will see yourself moving along in your own set time. That helps build confidence, is that you have that motivation, inspiration, guidance, and support to do what you need and move along in life. Because once again, our goal and the theme of our Got Confidence video series is that we want to be bold, we want to be a believer, and we want to be blessed. And you have to overcome these anxiety pressure points that kill your confidence, because confidence is very important. Because I know you're beautiful, I know you're handsome, I know you have everything going on in your life right now, but you don't want to stop. And sometimes those pressure points that kills our confidence will keep you from getting to your next level, because this is your season to level up. It's about to be a new year. We're at the last quarter of 2019, and there's no need to stop now. So I want you to know that this video series next week is going to be even more information. It's going to be even more inspiring. It's going to be even more of a push to get you to your next level, okay? Today we're conquering that overthinking, and I know you could do it. I know you're doing it right now while you're watching this video. I know you've learned how to intentionally focus. You've learned how to plan it out, and you've learned how to think positive. But now you have to put it into action, okay? So next week we're going to focus on anxiety pressure point number 2 for the video series number 2, and that's going to be overcommitting, right? Because after you stop overthinking and you land that job that you want, you got the bonus, you got the family life in order and all of those things, then there comes that next pressure point, right? Overcommitting. So you try to do too much for too little. Did you get that? You're doing too much for too little. You're overcommitting. You're putting too much pressure on yourself when, yes, you should be going above and beyond, but even that has limits. And so sometimes you're doing above and beyond, but you feel like you're not getting anywhere. So that's where video series number 2 comes in, because we're going to have to work on overcommitting. We want to be the best that we want to be, but we want balance. You have to balance. So next week, we're going to talk about how to balance. So this week, I hope you learn how to stop overthinking so that you can develop the confidence that you need to go after what you want, because we want to be bold, we want to be blessed, and we want to be a believer. So I see you next week for video series number 2, overcommitting. And this has been the conclusion of video series number 1, Got Confidence. And see you next week. and be a blessing.